Hey, welcome. It's Captain Matt, Boater Secret Weapon. I want to thank you for joining us for this Sunday night live. We're getting ready to start here in just a couple of minutes here. We'll start about 8:30, but I wanted to welcome you. If you've never been to a live, here's what you can expect. Just go ahead and chat in your comment section, on whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube. Just ask your question, leave your comment there, and then as we go through the time, I just kind of scroll down all the comments and I try to answer them. Now, if it's something that I need to ask you a question, I may ask you a question and just put it in the chat again, and I'll come back and I'll get that information so I can give you a more personalized response, something that's going to really add value for you. This is just something I do. One, it's great fun. I really enjoy it. It's helpful for the community. Just sharing my knowledge. Now, one thing that you need to know, I don't know everything about boats. I know a lot about boats. I've been a boater since I was 5. I've sold boats. It's something that is a big part of my life. With that said, I don't know everything. Matter of fact, sailboats, have zero experience with sailboats. Bass boats, very little experience there. Bow riders, deck boats, center consoles, jet boats, twin engines, stern drives, outboards, inboards, all of that I have experience with. And if I have an answer, I'll give you my best answer. If I don't have an answer, I'll try to give you a resource that will be valuable for you. If I have an opinion, I'll try to give you that opinion, but let you know this is what I think, not what I absolutely know. So I look forward to it. Here's a little video intro that a subscriber made for me. Thanks, Bo. And we'll see you on the live when it kicks off here in just a moment. Welcome, everybody, to the Sunday Live. I am your host, Captain Matt, and I am ready. I am ready for a good day. Looks like we got some folks on, and good to have everybody. I've got some pictures that have come in of people out on the water, stuff that they're doing to their boat. So we'll show some of those here in just a little bit. Welcome, Jerry, from up in Chesapeake, 211. I hope you're on the water today. If the weather is allowing it. Bo up in Washington State. Good to have you. Ray from Indiana. Hope you're doing good. Brock from Charleston, or maybe on his way back from fishing somewhere. Herb sent me a funny message. I don't know what time it was for sure, but he said, great weekend on the boat, capped off with a mass exodus trying to beat a thunderstorm back to the house. So I'm not sure where the thunderstorm was coming from, but hopefully, Herb, you made it back unscathed and got the boat tucked under the cover without getting too wet before putting it away for the week. Brian, I've got some pictures from Brian up in West Virginia. I really like this. Oh, you're not seeing what I'm seeing. This is what I was trying to show you. So Brian's got a Sun Tracker pontoon, 22 foot, tri-tune with a 200. But this is a sure shade attachment that he added on, and I'm not sure if it rolls back or if it folds back, or how it's actually. I've seen them both ways. I've seen them where you crank them back and they roll. I've also seen them on sliders that they slide back. I'm guessing because this Bimini folds that it is it's the roll up kind, and you pull it out. You get a double Bimini without having to have that big, huge double Bimini look all the time. And it looks, our Brian, if you don't mind sharing, it looks pretty easy to deploy. Looks pretty simple and pretty sturdy. So I would like to hear about that, but I really, really like that. And let's see if I set this up right. So we also talked about the mat rack that he put on his boat last weekend, if you were on last weekend. But this is a rack for the giant lily pad, that big. Let me see if I can get that to go a little bigger. So this lily pad, I think they're 8 feet long or something like that, maybe even 10 feet long, depending on which one you get, and 5 feet wide or so. But they're really big and heavy and unwieldy and take up a lot of space. When we take ours out, we have one at the Ozarks, and what we'll do is we'll set it just kind of up in the bow, and people use it as a leg rest, but it takes up a ton of floor space, and it's kind of in the way most of the time. But I really like that. Get it strapped down and on those racks. That's a pretty good system. And you can see, even though he's got the bimini folds down. I don't know if this is before or after he put that Sure Shade on, but I really like that. That is, Brian, that is awesome. That is really nice. Corey, welcome. Corey, I'm not sure where you're at. I think you probably have told me one time or another. Stephen, welcome. Stephen just got a bayliner. I think I showed it, or we talked about it maybe two lives ago, but he ended up pulling the trigger and got a really nice looking bayliner, I think VR5, with just a couple hours on it. Really, really good deal on one of those low usage pre-owned boats. So congratulations on that. Let's see here. St. Lawrence River, with great delight having my 6-year-old almost brand new bayliner in the water, running like a champ, and that's the way you want to keep it. That is perfect, and great that you've got. I don't know if this is the maiden voyage for you on it or not, but getting out on it is awesome. Kings and City the first, welcome, good to have you. Yeah, thank you, 211. Hit that like button. Appreciate that. Travis Ryan, welcome. I assume Travis is in Indiana as well. Let's see. Unfortunately, had to start traveling for work with the recent promotion. Had to travel for work this weekend. Those damn jobs just getting in the way of all of our boating time. Went fishing today, caught a few steelheads. Eating good tonight. That is awesome. Yeah, rolls back. Oh, that's right. That's a power bimini as well. I forgot they were. I should have seen that right there. You can tell it's a power bimini because it's got right here, and there is that little thing is where the motors sit, I think, and it retracts back, and then you can lay it all the way back as well, like we saw in that one. Pine Lake. I'm going to pull that up because, Ray, I've known that you're in Indiana for a long time. Where am I wanting to go here? Here we go. Indiana. I always like to see where everybody's doing their boating, and so this is where, oh, there's a whole bunch of lakes right around you. Dang. Okay, so you're right outside Chicago and Lake Michigan, and then that's a pretty good sized lake right there. I always love to see the different lakes that people are on and checking out. Hope you don't mind, Ray, that I showed that. Could deposit easily. Yeah, that is perfect to be able to do that. Let's see where Brock is. The auto bilge pump was working overload today. Our tournament was on the river. Rain from first light until 2:30. River was muddy. Took first place. Congrats. 2 fish. two fish that, let's see, weighed 5.6 total. Tough day on the water. 4 guys out of 52 weighed in at least one fish. Dang, that, I guess the muddy water keeps the fish from biting, I'm guessing. Let's see. I know Steven sent me a picture of his boat, and I thought I kept it. There it is. Because I was going to show that one too. So this is his VR. I think VR5 is VR5. I like that, the sleek white with the outboard. Just a good look. Well, that's a good looking rig, matching your truck too there, by the way. Where's my make it bigger button? There we go. So good looking boat, and nice galvanized trailer. So congratulations on that. Let's see here. And that kind of tan upholstery, that's becoming more popular nowadays. But good looking all the way around. I'm glad these boats are getting out and starting to get used. That means it's a good time of year. Yes, get it deployed on that Sure Shade. Chris M, welcome back. Good to have you. Dustin, first time from Texas. Welcome, Dustin. Dustin, I got Dustin, you were on, if you're the same Dustin here, that you just got the Best Boat Captain program. And I said you watched your first live recording last time, and he ended up deciding to get the Best Boat Captain. Let's see. If you know, I won't share anything specific above you, but grew up boating on bass boats and deck boats, only operated a pontoon once, and wanted to brush up on his skills. So he took advantage of the Best Boat Captain. Hope that's going well for you. And I hope we've had so many issues with getting people in. I think you replied back and that you had gotten in, but if anybody gets any of our programs and has a hard time logging in, let me know right away, because we've been working through some hiccups there for sure. Let's see. Shelby Snow, Crown Line boat, a good quality boat. Shelby, welcome. Yes, and depends. It is regardless, but it depends on what year. So Crown Line in 2009 went out of business. Maybe 2008, 2009 went out of business, and then the employees bought the company back. So the same what's his name? Ryan something. When did Crown Line out of business? All right, so back to building boats in 2009 from trade only, and so they really only closed down for less than a year. And some of the employees, Kevin Ream, there we go, that's the name I was looking for, or Rhyme, I'm not sure how you say it, but he was VP of sales and general manager, or he was a executive with the old ownership. They went out of business because of the recession, kind of restructured everything. This new company bought the brand and the facilities, and I think the molds. I'm not 100% sure about the molds. But then he became president and CEO of Crown Line, and still is today. So there was that gap for about a year where they didn't build, but they kept, for the most part, the same group in the ownership role. And I'll tell you that my family, let me see if I can pull up a picture here. My family has owned several of them back in the previous ownership. And so we had a 222 bow rider that was probably let's see, I was working at Branched Oak Lake then. That was probably a 95 or so, 94, 95, 96, something like that. And then a couple of 266s. My brother and cousin owned a couple, but those were, I think the newest one was probably a 2004, 2005, something like that. And I'm looking off onto another screen here where I've got, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find any of I'm not a very organized person. So finding, especially with pictures, I take so many pictures and have them in so many different places that I don't know if I'm going to have the one I'm looking for. Doesn't look like it. But let's see. Who is this? This is no, that was a Cobalt. That was a Cobalt on what's the lake in Knoxville? That's beautiful with the pretty blue water. But we've had several people that have bought Crown lines, and if you're buying new, it's a good solid mid-tier boat. If you're buying pre-owned, and I always say this, Shelby, it's more about the condition of the boat that you're buying, the specific boat that you're looking at and buying. That's more important than the brand after 5, 6, 7 years. But yeah, it is a good solid boat. New Jersey. Okay, there we go. Corey, New Jersey. I got to remember that. Picked up the boat from the marina, getting it ready for the summer. New zinc, impeller, fuel, water separator. Nice. That's the way to start off the year. Get the year started off with everything in ready to go, so you don't have to worry about it when you're out on the water. You get those things done. Fuel, water separator is going to not make it impossible, but it's really going to reduce the chances that you have a fuel issue. Impeller, you're not going to overheat. Zincs, you're going to protect your gear case on that lower unit, and you're ready to rock and roll. Welcome, Chase Banks. Good to have you back. Let's see, made it back, caught the gust front while backing in off then soaked for 20 minutes. Rainy day on the boat, still better than a rainy day on land. 100%. One of my favorite things, I think this came because when I was a kid, one of my favorite times on the water is to make it back to the dock after being out for a while and just have the rain coming down. The rain on the tin roof, it's so loud. When I was a kid, we would go to the Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri, and we've been going there since, let's see, I was born in 74. It's probably 79 is when we started going, and we still have a place there that we go to, typically get there once, maybe twice a year. But getting back to the dock, and when I was a kid, we would play Hank Senior. We had a 8-track tape player in our let's see, I'll show it to you. I think I saw it in these pictures. Had an 8-track tape player in a 16-foot Larson tri-hull, which was plenty big to be down there back in the day. And of course I don't have the picture that I was thinking of. But anyway, had an orange stripe around the top, 8-track tape player that Dad put in, custom, like that was custom big time for back in the day. Hank Senior, Waylon Jennings, Kenny Rogers. I'm still to this day a classic country guy, but we would sit on the dock, eat sunflower seeds, throw them in the lake. The little bluegill would come up and eat them. We would be sitting around. All the parents would be drinking beer, having a good time. All the kids would be hanging out, fishing. And it was such a great time that's still, to me, getting under the dock and just sitting, waiting for the rainstorm to pass by, maybe go out for some more, maybe head up to the cabin or to the house and make some burgers. But that is, to me, that is good living right there. I think I've been bitten by the speedboat bug. Found a beautiful Donzi 22 Classic. My sister didn't pull me back to reality. I might have bought it. Who was it? There was somebody that asked about a Donzi Classic the other day on the live, and we pulled them up. Let's see, we'll go 87, 22 Donzi. Classic. It's a sharp looking boat. For those of you that don't know it, matter of fact, this is um, it's got just it looks fast. It just looks like it's fast on the, if you can see that there. Um, just a good looking boat, closed bow, and those classic Donzi lines. Now Donzi's changed hands a few times, but owned by Iconic that owns uh, Fountain, and was it Fountain, Donzi, and they bought, who else did they just bought somebody recently too that was a little off character. Iconic. Oops. Why am I blanking on that? Fountain, Donzi, Baja, but Nautic Star. They bought Nautic Star earlier this year, which is you look, Fountain, Donzi, and Baja, they go together perfectly. But Nautic Star was a little bit of a different. I'm surprised. Well, and maybe that's why they don't have them listed, is because of that. But anyway, good looking boat. Good looking boat for sure. Between the rain and the current today, it was had the fish all messed up. They were letting a ton of water out to lower the lake due to the rain. 120-pound thrusting trolling motor. 8 out of 10 setting for most of the day, just trying to make forward progress in the current. Were you on Moultrie? I think that's where you do most of your club stuff, but awesome, Dustin. Very good. Very good. Can't wait to hear what you like the best, what the best part of. It's always interesting. Usually comes down to the pivot maneuver and the 9 building blocks, but I always like to hear what people find really valuable as they go through the best boat captain program. Canoe or Donzi, not much in between. Beautiful day here. Wanted to get on the water, but spent the day buffing and waxing. So next week I'll be able to start the season. Hey, that stuff's got to be done too. It's part of it. That's why I made the video about why not to buy a boat. Sometimes people don't realize that, hey, if you don't do that stuff, your $5,000-$10,000, $100,000-$200,000 investment goes downhill awfully quick if you don't put the effort in to maintain it. So that is part of it. I feel like this is a first, but I got to break out my glasses because I'm having a hard time reading these. So if you're like my daughter, you start making fun of me, I'm gonna have to. We'll see how this works. I was asking questions a few weeks ago about chart plotters. Figured I want to use my phone after looking at the price. Didn't want to drill holes. Yeah, you start to. Oh my God! I saw on that. On the 06 240 Sun Deck. I saw a post on Facebook. I didn't save it or mark it or anything. But it was a technicians forum that I'm in, and it said when a customer does their own transducer, and they drilled through an inch through hole for the transducer. Well, they missed the first time because they started from the outside and they hit a stringer, so they couldn't. So they just moved it over and filled that hole in with 5,200. And you start talking about drilling in, especially under the water line. You start drilling below the water line. Make sure that you either know what you're doing very, very well, or you've got somebody else on standby that knows what they're doing that can help you out. And yes, Chase, you are exactly right. For free or for Navionics, $80 a year, you can pay for a lot of years before you pay for one of those screens, and then have to upgrade it anyway after 5-10 years. So, all right, Louis G. Let's see. Hello, been waiting a long time looking to buy a used 24, 27 foot cruiser, 15 plus year old, around 35. Are cruisers with 2 engines more stable? See the steering's advantages, but could cost more. Yeah. All right. So Louis G, first of all, go check out my video on how to buy used cruisers. And I'm going to say, yes, they're more stable, but it's not because they have twin engines. It's because when you get over 30 feet, your beam starts to get a little bit wider. So your it has nothing to do with the fact that it's a twin engine. It has to do that the beam is a little bit wider and longer. So you're spreading that weight out and the balance of the boat is better. So on a 24-foot cruiser is you've got all that weight only over 8.5 feet of beam, and only over 24 feet. And so it can get the 240. Oh, what was the year? Um, there was a year in the 240 and the 260 Sundancer that as soon as you got up on plane, you had to instantly get that trim because otherwise you would fall off to one side or another because you've got the headroom in the cabin, and you get up on plane, you get a little bit of that. Where's my boat? Oh, I took my boat filming the other day, and it's still in the garage. But you get up on that V hull, and now you can more easily fall off. You get that trim, and that stabilizes a little bit by changing the angles. When you get to let's say a 280 28-foot dancer, or like the 35-foot four winds that I ran to do the twin engine version of the Best Boat Captain, that one had a 12-foot beam and it was 39 feet long. I think is what the length was, or even 28, 29, 30 feet. You're usually at maybe a 9-foot beam. So that extra width gives you better balance overall on the boat. Um, is it significant? No, it's more a matter of just getting comfortable knowing how to manage it. Again, using the engine trim, so tilting the angle of attack of that lower unit on the Sea Rays that I've run that have had that issue. And it's not just the Sea Rays, it's most 24 and some 26-foot boats that have that issue where they get a little bit tippy. And as they improve the balance of them, some of them do better than others, and it's year by year, brand by brand. But you're right. The big advantages is steering and maneuverability in tight quarters. Although, frankly, I used to run a 30-foot. It was a '09 290 Amberjack, which is basically the fishing version of the Sundancer, but it's a 30-foot boat and it had a single engine. It was fairly easy to maneuver if you know how to operate a boat well. It's easy enough to maneuver with the Bravo 3 drive, and it would be a little bit more challenging if you had a Alpha and you didn't have the counter rotating props. The Alpha, you got a little bit of prop walk you got to figure into the equation. But if you've got Bravos and a single up to a 30, you'll be fine if you learn how to run the boat the right way. What I would more say is make sure that you're going to have the space on the interior if you're going to be overnighting. Make sure that you're comfortable with the amount of room. Now, a 24, if it's just you or you and one other person, you're going to be fine. If you're going to put more than that on the boat, if you got a couple of kids, just spend an half hour to an hour down in that cabin, go through the motions of using the head, changing out the layout to put the V berth in, put the dinette down, go through the motions of showering. If you're going to shower on the boat, go through the motions of cooking dinner. If you're going to cook dinner, go through the motions of sitting on the toilet and do you fit? Somebody mentioned that on one of my comments the other day. He's like, we bought a cruiser and I couldn't sit in the head. My knees wouldn't let me shut the door. And that happens. So depending on how big you are, it can happen. Check those things. But I wouldn't be too concerned about the tippiness of it. But that's why you do the demo. If you find one that's really bad, it's really, really not balanced well, you'll find that out in the sea trial. But usually a little bit of engine trim will do the trick. I use a ram ball mount on my center console, clamps to the T-top, has the X-Grip phone holder on the other end. So if you look, let me see. I don't know for sure that we have these, but it sounds like you know. It sounds like you know what he is talking about. I don't know if we've got mounts up yet. I don't know if we've got our, yeah. All right. Um, these are, these mounts are actually a really great um, way to mount things when you don't want to actually drill into the dash, but you want to add some electronics. So you can see right here, this has the slider where they mount it on a slider, but this ram ball, it allows you then to put, come on, it allows you to then mount what you want to it. And you can remove it and it is still pretty. Let's see if this one looks, this is a little better look at it, but you can see how that ram ball is right there. And then you can just open this up and loosen it and pull it right off. So you can remove it from your boat. And again, they make these, let's see if I can pull up the one that, there we go. This is the one. So they make a clamp version if you have a tube that you can mount, and so now you don't have to drill through anything. And then you can put your chart plotter, your GPS. You can mount whatever you want to those. These are real handy, a real handy way to do it. And they'll make them on a clip mount, so you could attach it to. Here we go. You could attach it to the windshield in some way or another. So again, um, you're not having to drill into. You can mount it that way, but you still have the several thousand for the. And that's just at Chase Banks. That's just at Bass Pro Shop. Um, you have all those different options. Gonna slip out early tonight, starting a new job tomorrow. Great week, great holiday. Yeah, be safe out there, Brian. Let's see, are we doing this? No, Memorial Day is this weekend. So yeah, be safe, have fun out there, and pay attention. Be really on diligent lookout when you're on the water. And if you, Brian, I think this new job was going to take you into Raleigh. If you get closer to Charlotte, let me know and meet you for a beer. But Raleigh's a little bit too far at 3.5 hours. Oh, and camping at the lake, so that'll be great. Your grandson's gonna love it. Cooper River today, just for reference, setting with 8, little wind. Runs your boat about 3 miles an hour, and that was just keeping you going. That's a good running current there. Um, Sea suction cup mount for my iPad. Let's see, I don't know that one. Okay, there you go. Where you actually pump the vacuum. Come on. So you actually pump that up and get a nice tight fit. That's interesting. Another way to go. Yeah, when you start talking about cutting things in, if there's a way to mount it and make it look nice, if you're not, and then on the other hand, for somebody like Brock, where you're using it the way he does, sometimes the mounted version is the right way to go. I'm assuming that he has something mounted on the Sportsman, but on the bass boat, using those ram balls is probably great because you can change depending on where you're at, you can adjust the angle and twist it and do those kinds of things. So, um, yeah, I think they mount. I don't know about the suction cup, but these ram mounts are rock solid. So, I'm gonna call them Lake. Yeah, that does matter a little bit. That does matter a little bit. Those C-suction suction cups are badass. Never thought to use one for a phone mount. My buddy mounted his roof bars on a Volkswagen. Oh, interesting. That, yeah. I mean, if they held up under that, you've got, yeah, that's awesome. I would have never thought to try that number, but yeah, you figure you got that, you got that suction going. You can really get a good firm if you got a clean, clean, smooth surface. I would make the objection that it would also depend on which Bravo. Yeah, when I say Bravo, I always mean Bravo 3. Um, I the Bravo 2s, you don't see, um you just don't see the Bravo 2 drives very often. They're more of a commercial application, but they're out there. Um, they're they're just a heavier gear case, but they only have a single propeller. That maybe that's my, just in my boating experience. But I don't recall seeing a Bravo 2 on many pleasure boats. But maybe I'm just assuming they're alphas. If I see them in a yard somewhere, I'm not paying enough attention to see that gear case is a little bit bigger. I may need to check myself on that a little bit. But yeah, when I say Bravo, I almost always mean Bravo 3. Oh, you're very welcome, Louis. Louis G. Louis. I don't even know you that well yet. Let's see. Each suction sup holds 220 to 150 pounds. That's pretty awesome. They make locks for those ram balls too. You want a more permanent install? That's how my helm graphs are mounted on the bass boat. All right. See, Brian, you're going to get sucked in. You're going to always get sucked into the next question. Let me see. Ram ball mount locks. Okay, interesting. So it's got a little key that will. Come on, show me. Okay, so you basically just not allowing them to disconnect and loosen that right there. So yeah, that's I like that. I like that a lot. Um, Thanks. Was looking at motorcycle type mounts, but wasn't impressed by the design. Yeah, that the Ramball is I don't know that it's boat specific, but it is. We've got access to it in my boating stuff. We don't have it up yet. But if you go to, they make designs that you're like, that was clearly made for a boating person. So check those out. My Garmin's are flush in the dash on the center console. I do have one of the large ram balls, 12-inch low ramps on it just for use with the trolling motor. Yeah, that when you need different vantage points depending on where you're fishing and where you're controlling the boat at the helm or at the trolling motor, that makes sense. Mike, welcome, Mike Bowles. First time listener, got my first pontoon last week. Do I need outside guides for loading it at the dock? Okay, so you don't absolutely positively have to have them. Oh, I meant to show this too. This was from Craig. If Zach Dog is on, he sent this to me. He sent this to me the other day. Warm weather is coming, and so are these people. So that's more of a backing issue. But let's see here. What am I trying to do? Donzi Classic, pontoon trailer guides. So it's not 100% necessary, but it makes the job of getting a pontoon on the trailer much easier. So if you think about it, your bunks, you've got about that much of depth. So you've got maybe 2-3 inches of depth for that pontoon to stay on there, which means that when you back in, you use friction like we talk about in Trailer Like a Pro. um, you get the back end just deep enough so you got friction on your front of your tunes. But if it's windy, that back end can blow out. It's not like you're in a big deep V that you've got, 2.5 feet of depth to keep you from your butt kicking out. Um, so I like to put these mounts on the back end. And let's see again. I think we've got these, but I don't know. Yeah, we don't have them up yet. Um, but they are, yeah, let's find a better picture for you guys. But they will be, here we go. This is I really like this style. But it's not necessary. They work the same way. If you can see that, let me go a little bit bigger here. Um, Essentially what they're going to do is they're just going to keep that back end from slipping around if that wind's blowing. These also, I mean, as long as you get that first third on, you're golden. It's gonna rattle you right home. You do need to make sure that you've got the height right, because sometimes what can happen is these can get caught on the cross members, if they're too high or you back in not quite deep enough. But either way, well, that's the whole trailer. That's a $5,000 trailer. But when you look at 102, less than 200 bucks, and you can easily install them yourself, just a couple of U clamps or U bolts that you put them on, you get them adjusted right. And, for $200, it will save you so much frustration and so much, swearing at the boat ramp. If you struggle with the loading and stuff like that, Trailer Like a Pro is a great training program. But those guides, I'm telling you, those guides make everything that much easier as well. So I would put them on, if I was you. I think it's a pretty, um, 200 bucks versus the reward of loading up on a windy day. You'll be glad you have them on those days. So, all right. Well, Savvy Symbol, welcome. Good to have you join us. Thanks, everyone. Time to get back to work. Well, thanks for joining us, Chase Banks. Reminds me of every time I see these amateurs with the pontoon, they get the trailer too deep, have their wives. Oh my gosh, I was at the boat ramp, and I, I, it's a you have to be very cautious because the stress level is there. People are upset and angry. They don't want people telling them what to do. In my experience, but I try to offer some assistance. Hey, can I help you out? Um, you know, but I try not to be like, here's how to do it. But this lady was in the water up to her shoulders, trying to push the pontoon on, trying to get it on while the motor was running. And they were back, just like you said, Bo, or Saint, for you guys. They, were backed way too deep in the water, which is one of the biggest issues that people have trailering, is they go too deep. They don't have any friction, so the boat's floating all over. The back end is swinging way off in that case, especially on a pontoon. And it makes getting a boat loaded up nearly impossible. And I offered some advice, and she was not interested. So I walked away. I didn't want to. Somebody was going to get hurt. But I don't know how they got it out. But I tried, and they weren't interested in any assistance at all. Swift Lake. I don't know Swift Lake either. I like this looking up lakes. Um, Washington. Swift Lake Reservoir. All right, so just north of Portland. I bet that's beautiful there. How do I get to the satellite view? Chinook Falls, right in the middle of farmland and the mountains, it looks like. What is that? All right, Bo, you got to tell me what the heck this thing is. Volcano. All right, I should be better at geography, but this is saying something volcano. Oh, Mount St. Helens. Oh, damn. Okay. So Mount St. Helens is right there. Interesting. I bet that would be a cool spot if you can get your boat on the trailer. Mike, welcome. You are welcome. Every time I see a pontoon in the river trying to load without a set of these, are yeah. I'm telling you, for $200, that is, I don't know. I've loaded a ton of pontoons, but I don't know for sure how many I've loaded without guides. My guess is it's not many. Anybody that I sold a boat to, and either we ordered the trailer or I got a trailer for them for their pontoon, I always told them, put them on. Just put them on. You'll thank me later, or you won't even know that you need to thank me, but you'll be glad you have them. Uh, I've noticed that my shore power socket on the transom of my boat has prongs that are oxidized. Use a wire brush to clean them off. Um, I don't know. I don't know about that, Jerry. It makes me wonder. Um, is there something going on? Station on prongs. Um, Overheated. Yeah, that's what I was wondering, is that they're discolored due to arcing while it was plugged in, and it should be replaced. Arcing and overheating can cause the result of a dock receptacle that is loose or defective. Um, so couple of things, Jerry, that I would do is, one, make sure that you use that coupler, that tightener, to get them good and tight. You're a diligent person, so I would imagine you're doing that already. And do me a favor, Jerry. Take a picture of it next time you're at the Regal and send it to me. I want to check out, is it just a little bit of oxidation from sitting on the dock when you're out running, or in your compartment on your transom locker if you take them with you, or is it something like this where it's potentially a wiring issue, and it could be a wiring issue that on the dock side, it could be that maybe something's not getting plugged in all the way. You plug your cable in and give it that little, not even a quarter of a twist, but that little twist to lock it, and then your little cap to lock it. That little, I assume your cables are yellow with that little black ring that you can screw on. Now, not all shore power setups, and do that. Take a picture of your shore power setup on the dock and on the boat, whatever side it's on, or both is even better, and then both ends of the cable, because I want to see what it is. Let me see if they have I mean, that's obviously, um I know yours isn't that bad. Uh I didn't know if they would have a more. Let me see if there's other images. But I don't know the answer, of cleaning them off, but I would say a wire brush would probably be a reasonable um, tool to use. But what I want to know for sure is, um, is there some type of wiring issue? Is there something that's going on that is causing that problem? Um, because what you don't want to happen is is have a fire. Um, yeah, if it's modest corrosion like that, it's probably just the salt getting on it. Um, I don't. I would say like your WD-40 is kind of going to be a corrosion inhibitor. But I don't know about putting WD-40 with electricity. I don't know enough about it to say that's a good idea or a bad idea. But send me the pictures and let me do some asking around to people that have a little bit more um, with some folks that work at a marina where they've got boats plugged in all the time, and see um, what they're saying on maintenance. If you want boat ramp drama, watch the chit show. Or yes, for sure. There's one. Let's see here. YouTube um, page and boat ramp. Let's see here. Yeah, Paige and Kevin video. So this is I don't know these folks. I've never run into them. But they film at one of the boat ramps I go to all the time. It is it is a you can see all the boats, and it's right on the main channel. There over to the right, there's a one of the more popular restaurants on the lake, and there's the marina that I used to work at that has 500 boats in it is just to the other side. So it gets crazy, and this is where I actually saw the lady that needed some help and but didn't want it. Yeah, you see some amazing stuff. So Paige and Kevin, if you ever see me out there, say hey. If you I don't know if you watch my channel or not, but I go through there every now and again. And I don't know if I've said this but I've said this to my wife all the time, is my biggest fear is that I'm gonna do something stupid at some point and get filmed. And because hey, listen, I make mistakes just like everybody. I don't make them very often, but every now and again I won't get the boat on the trailer the first try. The wind will blow me off. What was it? Maybe a month ago now. I was hip towing a pontoon, a Bennington pontoon, with a 19-foot center console, and I was for Towboat US, and I was trying to put it on the trailer hip towing. So hip towing is I've got the pontoon here, and then I'm tied off the back of it. And so I'm trying to load the boat on the pontoon. It wasn't a terrible windy day, but I'd never done it before. And so it took me about 5 or 6 tries. I never got close to damaging anything, but I would miss it by 6 inches. I would miss it, and I don't think that one had trailer guides on it, so I was missing the guides, or just missing the bunks. But the tech that was going to be working on the boat was there, and I was like, "Oh my god, just let me get this sucker on, let me get this sucker on the trailer." Yeah, Jerry, you would think, Mount St. Helens, that's something that people know. But yeah, hey, listen, in the 80s, I was a kid. I was a kid. I didn't know that the lake you were by is right by Mount St. Helens. Never dawned on me. But it makes sense. It makes sense. Um, and I'm not that bright of a guy, really. May 18th, 1980. Yeah, come on, guys. I was 6 years old. Look at all you guys. All you guys are way smarter than me. That's why I do a boating videos. I don't do any real smart stuff videos. Dustin, thanks for joining us today, and look forward to seeing you on future ones. Okay, perfect. Sort of a light greenish, definitely around the lock ring all the way. Okay. I figured you would on the boat side, not the dock side. Okay, so that tells me that that's getting some splash on. My guess is that's salt water and doing the wire brush is probably the right move. I'm going to ask about though a spray of some corrosion inhibitor that, but I want to make sure that it's not going to cause any reduction in the flow of electricity or any unnecessary heating. Yeah, Bo, that's what I was thinking is corrosion X or WD electric contact cleaning. Um, Okay, okay. I didn't know that they made an electric, let's see here, WD contact cleaning. Okay, so they make an electrical version of it. Um, yeah, that just something to give you a little bit more protection and get you a little bit longer in between cleanings because that especially if you have a I don't know how your through hole is, how you get the wire out or the cable out if you've just got the hole through the through your door or what the setup is on your Regal, but you know, there's plenty of splash and there's plenty of water, salt water that's going to get all over that stuff and that will start it. This might be the ticket right here. I don't see how much it is, but I would guess it's less than $20. Um, oh, 25, 23, I think I saw. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, less than $15, 10, $15, and you'll be in good shape. All right. Thanks, Brock. Appreciate that. Is the new composite 2x4 a good replacement bunk? Um, yeah, that they're using when you say composite 2x4, I assume you mean let's see, trailer bunk replacement. That black, not the wood that's carpeted, which is I think what I just clicked on. Um this synthetic board. Oh, those are the covers. Come on, Matt. Trailer bunk. Come on. Yeah, so something like this, that is on the newer trailers, you're seeing that a lot. Now, Mike, the one thing to realize is that um it that doesn't have as much friction as like the some of the carpeted bunks. And some of them, that stuff will get real slick, especially when they're wet. So getting it hooked up, getting your winch strap on, your safety chain when you're pulling it out, have both of those on there. And then make sure you get good and snug up on that bow stop where your rollers here and that's right here. And you've got your eye right up under that bow stop. So it's pulling it nice and tight on there. And then your transom straps on. And but yeah, those are a good solid material to use. And it's what you're seeing a lot of manufacturers go to. We get corrosion on the pins of our electric connections at work in the military vehicles. Okay, perfect. So if if it works in that environment, um, you're going to be in. That would be a great option for you. I was 13 years old. Oh, grew up in Seattle. Okay, see, I forgot that you've got that Seattle collection. I grew up in Nebraska. We didn't know anything in Nebraska. That they didn't teach us about anything outside of Iowa and South Dakota. That's all we got. After you clean the pins, put some dielectric grease on them. Yeah, that's just anything to keep that connection good and keep that corrosion down is that's awesome. Look into Nolax. Should protect, will not inhibit electrical connection. You can get it at Home Depot. Conductive. Let's see here. So, come on. Here we go. So the dielectric grease is $7 for that. Like you would put on to your bulbs, and then no locks. For aluminum to aluminum, aluminum to copper connection. Yeah, so it looks like it's very, very similar. I don't see the dielectric labeling, but that same that's going to allow electricity to flow through and give yourself a little protection. Yeah, that matter of fact, I got to clean my case. I saw that on my truck the other day. The corrosion at the prongs isn't good. Introduces electrical resistance into the power circuit, creates more heat. Yeah, that you always want to keep that that electric, anything that gets hot, that's an issue. You've got to deal with that. And especially on a boat. I mean, a boat fire, or the electrical issue will turn into a boat fire, will turn into the whole marina going up. And there's stories every year, and it's usually a cruiser that has some sort of a cable that wasn't maintained properly is where it starts from. All right, we're coming up. We're on an hour here. If anybody else has a question, throw it in the chat. I haven't done this for a while, but do the quick little commercial. If you're buying a boat, check out the Boat Buyers Toolkit. It's totally free. BoatBuyersToolkit.com. If you are a newer to the boating world, boat ownership, check out the Boater Bootcamp 3-part video series. It's free as well. There's boaterbootcamp.com for freshwater people, coastal Boater Bootcamp for you saltwater folks, because there's differences that you need to be aware of. And then if you struggle with your boat handling, the best boat captains, we got single engine outboard, single stern, pontoon, twin engine, and then the jet and the wake boat version. I've got to get those boats lined up. It has been more challenging to get that to work to my schedule, and get out on the water and get that done. Confident coastal boater, trailer like a pro, tow water sports with confidence, and learn to ski and wakeboard the easy way. And hopefully when I get out there, I haven't decided if I'm going to do that on a pontoon with my girls, or maybe do it on a wake boat. I'll probably do it on a pontoon because it's easier, because it doesn't make as big a wake. You can check out all the reviews online. We've got a bunch of 5 stars, and I think we got a 3-star is the worst one we got there. And then our money back guarantee. For any reason you're not satisfied, just ask for a refund. You get it. No questions, no runaround. The First Time Boat Buyer Academy, we've had several people grab that. I think with the market update, Herb, that you mentioned, thank you for that. I really appreciate it. That I think that probably brought some people in that were looking at buying, and the magic money saving method in this, a negotiation strategy that works real well, is awesome. And again, everything comes with the money back guarantee. So check those out, and join the community. Waiting for Captain Matt to make a rise and fall of the Cuddy videos. I've got if you could see this, I've got a like a big huge post-it note that's 2 foot by 3 foot, and I've got all of my videos that I need to do are there. I'll put that on there for you, Bo. I like that rise and fall of the Cuddy cabin. Just for the heck of it. And we're winding down. I'm gonna do that right here as I'm answering Kings for the City. What should you do before and after putting your boat in salt water? Rise and fall. Cuddy. All right, you're on the list, Bo. Okay, so before you put it in, it's just like anything. Is check the plug. Make sure everything's operational. Check your lights. Check if you've got a stern drive or inboard your blower. Check your battery. You've got all that. That's the same for the most part. The biggest thing when you're done in saltwater is the freshwater rinse. You've got to wash everything down, inside, outside, and the motor. And that means either running it on depending on, let's say you've got an outboard, running it on your flush attachment. If you've got a stern drive, your flush attachment, or on the muffs and inboard. If you need to, you can do it on the inboard. You may not need to do it the way some of those are set up, but you can also do a salt away flush. Follow the instructions on a product like Salt Away, and essentially what you're doing is, come on. Wait, why are you not wanting to type? So what you're doing is you're getting all of that salt up out of the engine. You want to rinse everything down, including, at times you need to pull your cowling off, because remember, the engine is sucking air in to make it run, which when you're running at any speed, you've got all that salt spray just going up in the air. So it actually can be sucking salt water in, and you can get a buildup of salt on the engine. As the water evaporates, it just leaves the salt behind. So you got to pull off that cowling periodically and make sure that you get all of that salt out of there. And again, as Brock was talking about, they've got to put corrosion inhibitors on all of their pins. He's in Charleston, so in the salt air, you've just got that stuff. It's everywhere. And when you're on the water, it's going to get in everything. So you got to rinse all that out. You got to protect your stainless steel and all your metal, which again, a corrosion inhibitor, WD-40, if you can just squirt that on your stainless and get you a nice film. They also make, I got contacted by these guys to, what is it? Buy Shield 9, I think. BioShield 9. It's I'm going to say a Boeing product, but it's a rust and corrosion inhibitor. But you spray it. There's a couple products like this. WD-40 is a commonly used one. They make actual products that are branded for that as well. But it just gives you a layer of protection of that salt. And that's the big one. So, your raw water pump, that's going to get salt buildup in it, and you need to get that taken care of as well. So anywhere that salt water is getting in, you need to get that out. That's probably the biggest one. And Kings in the City, if you haven't, you can check out the Coastal Boater Bootcamp, and it's free. Just put in your information, click and roll, and you'll get those videos. I think it's in the third video is where we talk about that. But it's the biggest thing is rinsing your trailer as well, rinsing your axles, rinsing your wheel wells and your brakes and all of that. Anywhere that gets salt on it, and that's everywhere, needs to be addressed. I use Salt Away after every use. I can extend the life manifold. Yeah, it is. And I met the um her dad invented it, and she owns the company now at Ibex, and she actually gave a presentation for to the media group. I was there as a media, which made me laugh. I had a media pass, and I got to go to the media lunches and the media room where they had drinks and stuff like this. I was like, I was there with Boating Magazine and Boating Industry guys, and Pontoon and Deck Boat Magazine, like the real legit guys. And here I am, little YouTuber. And but anyway, the Salt Away, she said, run it and leave it in there. They have better success by not flushing the salt away out. I guess the way it's designed is you leave it in there, and then the first whatever it does is it keeps it from sticking, and then as soon as you crank it up again after it's dried, it just flushes that all right out. And she said that's the way to get the best results from it, which I thought was interesting, because I always thought with that product, you flushed it out, you flushed with that, and then you flushed with fresh water to get that out as well. But she said, no, leave it in and you'll get better results. They had engine cutouts and stuff like that she showed, which I thought was interesting. When you do the video, let me know where the millions and millions of pennies that I'm making with the YouTube ads. I will certainly send you a shirt. There you go. Bo, what do you think about this? We'll get you a Boater Secret Weapon shirt. You can wear that baby with pride. I don't know. I don't have one. I don't have one with a cutty on it, so I'm going to have to just send you the Anchor one. Sorry about that. I always carry a gallon pump spray with salt off mix for spraying the lug nuts. Yes. Awesome idea. Because that trailer often overlooked. BioShield. That's what I'm talking about. You're right. That is exactly it. I wanted to say BioShield 9. But anyway, maybe I should. I wasn't really. I don't know why I didn't go anywhere with them. I didn't respond to. She sent me several emails, but I was at that point. I was very much. I don't want anybody making me say good things about their products. Like, if you give me your product, I get to say anything that I want, good or bad, and you just have to deal with it. And so I think I was like too hung up on that. And it's still, that's my approach, but I didn't want to have I didn't want to get into doing a bunch of work and then saying, no, you can't do that. Trailer's always the most forgotten by saltwater guys. Seen struggling trying. Yeah. Or just the axle breaking as you're running down the road. Spoke at length yesterday to a guy in my neighborhood who has sold at our whaler dealership for several decades, asking him about the pandemic, post-pandemic with whalers. And he has seen whalers, his observation up to 2020, big discounts could be had, very difficult to get new whaler inventory during the pandemic, for sure. Pretty much sold everything they could 2021. Anything through 2022 was MSRP or higher, zero discounts. Things are returning to normal now. We are just starting to offer incentives to the buyers. Yeah. And they are, what's interesting. And I tried to clarify this in my market update, which is, let's see here. This one right here with the, you guys aren't seeing my screen. This one right here with the yellow. But the premium brands held out a lot longer than the value and the more entry level boat. The move up boats are still doing okay. The big horsepower center consoles, the big horsepower pontoons, the cruisers, Whaler, Grady, those type of boats, the custom, semi-custom orders are still do well. It's the and you'll even see it on the rebates. Like the C-Ray SPX has rebates, but the SLX and the SDX do not. The Bayliner has some rebates on their products. Tracker Marine has what is the inflation buster pricing, which are basically their way of doing rebates. So that is very similar to what I'm hearing. They were affiliated with Boeing, which is why they've got the BioShield name from what she was saying. That's I didn't realize that they spun off companies like that. I always flush with the flush out port 10-15 minutes, hook up the muffs, run the motor until the salt off container is empty, shut the motor off. Yeah, that's exactly the process. And I think they've got some videos on that. So that hopefully that helps somebody. Don't send me free stuff. I feel bad when people do that. All right, Bo, I won't send you anything free. Listen, it's if you have been on so many lives and you've invested in programs and you provide helpful information, here's what I'll do. We'll do some drawings and maybe you'll win a drawing, and you can give it away if you I don't want to make you feel bad though. All right, guys, we're at an hour 15. I think we did 3 hours last week, somehow or another, but I'm going to call it quits today. Thank you all very much. Hey, listen, everybody, go out, enjoy Memorial Day weekend. If you're going to be on the water, be extra, extra safe. All of the people that bought new boats are going to be out there. Hopefully they have gotten trained with my program or with somebody else or some other buddy's program. Just realize there's going to be a lot of new people out there that don't have the skills, the understanding, the basic knowledge that they need. So if you're out there, when you're operating, head on a swivel, be ready for anything. Know you're out there for a relaxing day. So if something crazy happens, just let it roll off your back. Tell them, hey, go check out Boater Secret Weapon. They can help you, and have a safe one. We'll talk to you, I think, on Sunday. I think we'll talk on Memorial Day Sunday. But again, if you see it up there, we're on. If you don't, we won't. So be extra cautious. And yes, let's see. There we go. Yes, Corey, it is Boater Safety Week. We've got a bunch of boater safety stuff talking about products, anchors, fire extinguishers, VHF radios, navigation lights, life jackets, carbon monoxide, and let's see, first aid kits, and signaling devices, flares, EPIRBs, things like that. So over the National Safe Boating Week, we got all of those coming out, and you'll see those on YouTube, on Facebook, and you'll see a lot of stuff. Check those out. Share them with anybody. Here's what I would love. I would love if you shared the etiquette videos, marina etiquette, boat ramp etiquette, boater etiquette, on any of the social medias. And if you just put in etiquette, matter of fact, I think I've got an etiquette playlist there we go. Boating etiquette. So we've got 6 boating etiquette videos. This is probably the best one. This one right here is probably the best overall general boating. The marina etiquette for somebody like Jerry that's in the marina, and the boat ramp etiquette is boat launch mistakes. Share those in your social media communities, and try to make the Memorial Day weekend as easy as possible on everybody. All right. Thanks, everybody. Enjoyed it. And yeah, hit the like, hit the bells. Appreciate it, everybody. And have a safe one out there if you go out this weekend.